seated, and first we're going to clasp our hands behind our back, and then we're going to bring the clasped hands over to the side. So let's bring it first to one hip, so you're just stretching out your shoulder area. Take a few breaths here. Okay, and then unclasp. Roll the shoulders back a couple times. Okay, and then we're clasping our hands behind us, and we're bringing it over to the other side. So let's bring it to the other hip. Stretch out the other shoulder. Okay, and back, unclasp, roll the shoulders back and forwards. Good. Now let's bring one arm across the chest and hold it there, locked with your other arm, and look away from your hands. Okay, and release. Let's go the other side. Lock the arm and look away. Back to center and down. Let's take our hands up to the sky. Look up and forward fold down. Slowly come back to a seat. We're going to do some seated cats and cows. So you can grab your knees, and we're just going to look up, arch our back. Big inhale here, and then exhale, look down, round your back. You can do this on your own time. One more set. Good, and back to center. Now let's go into a tabletop position. So this is where we're on our hands and knees, and we're gonna make C shapes with our torso. So we're just gonna curve. So we're gonna take our shoulder and our hip, and this is gonna stay in one line, and then we're gonna look over a shoulder. So we're gonna round that side. So from here it looks like I'm just turning like that, but on the ground. So looking over one shoulder, and then look over the other shoulder. Doing this a couple times. You can always connect your breath with your movement, so you can inhale on one side, exhale on the other side. Good. Back to the neutral table, and we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to take one hand, raise it way up, and then place it through the other arm, and rest your head and your shoulder on the ground, reaching forward. Good. Press into the mat, come back to center. We're going to do this on the other side. Lift the arm way up, and then reach on through. Both hands come back onto the mat. We're going to slide them forward into a puppy pose. So this is where you're going to take your hands a little bit more forward. It's not quite a child's pose, and you're going to rest your chest and your face on the ground. So we're going to slide forward here so you can put your forearms on the ground and go onto your belly. First, let's just lay here with our hands by our hips. We're going to take our hands and place them by our chest and slowly rise up to Cobra. So this is where you're just arching your back, your shoulder blades are touching as close as they can together, and you're lifting your face up. And come back down. Now we can take our hands and put them in front of us. We're resting our head on the ground. And we're going to do like a diagonal lift. So you're going to lift your right hand, and then your left hand your left foot is coming up. So we're doing opposite diagonal lifting, and look forward. And release down. Other side, this is your left arm and your right foot. And come down. Couple more on each side on your own time. Okay, and back down. You're going to put your hands on the ground, and we're going to go back into a tabletop position. From the tabletop, we're going to go into a kneeling side plank. So you're going to sweep one leg out, other leg is going to extend, and we're going to make a big line with one side of our body. Nice big side stretch here. Okay, now we have our toes curled so that we can stabilize a little bit more. We're going to reach the hand up so that it makes a line with the other arm. And if you want, you can try to lift that leg up and look up. This is a little bit more tightening your core area. Okay, good. And down. Let's go up and over to the other side. So first we're doing our side stretch. Good. Make sure that your shoulder and your wrists are lined up. Your hip and your knees are lined up. Okay. Start curling those toes underneath for more stability if you want. Reach the hand up, and if you like, lift that foot. Good, and release down, come back up. We're gonna sit on our heels. So your toes are curled underneath you, and then you're gonna just like sit down on them. This is to stretch out our feet. You can rest your hands on your lap here. And while we're here, we're just going to do a quick vocalization. So we're going to make 3 sounds. First is ah sound, then there's an o sound, and then finally an sound. So first let's start off with ah. So we're going to inhale and then say ah. Ah. Next sound is our O sound. So big inhale here. Oh. The last one is a like a humming sound. We're going to lift up our arms and go Good. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is going to be seated. So we're going to come back down onto a seat. Our hands are reaching behind us. We're going to stabilize our feet onto the ground, and we're going to push up into a reverse tabletop. So you're going to lift your hips up, and your body is now a table. And if you want, you can release your head and look behind you. You come back. You can lift one leg and cross it if you like. And switch. Both feet down and come back to a seat. Okay. The next thing we're doing is a rabbit pose. So from the tabletop, we are putting our hips down by the heels, and we're going to grab our ankles or our feet and curve down. So this is more like curving your back, and then we're going to rest our heads onto the ground. We're like making ourselves into a ball. Okay. Hands come back onto the mat. From here, we're going to stretch our feet back a little bit. And we're going to take one foot and have it come up by our hands. We're going to go into a lizard pose. So your leg is right next to your hands. From here, you can either lift your knee or keep it on the ground. And another alternative is you can come down onto your forearms if you want. You can also lift your knee here too. Okay. You can put your knee back down. Press the palms down onto the ground. Back to the table and switch to the other side. The other foot is coming forward. Hands are coming by the foot. You can leave the knee down or lift it. And for the forearms, you can either go onto the forearms or stay on your hands. Press back up. Okay, next one is our pigeon. So from our tabletop, we're going to take one foot and it's going to go over to the opposite hand. And we're going to let the knee rest by the same hand as it. So, I don't know if you can see this. Can you guys see this? So, maybe it's easier if you come from the, like a plank position and lift one foot. Then you're going to touch the knee to the elbow and then swing the foot inside so it's a little bit closer to your groin area, and then scoot the other leg back so that you're resting down. Yeah, good. So first we're upright. This is our pigeon pose. And then our hands are going to come up in front, and we can slowly walk them and fold over this leg. So we can also do a simultaneous quad stretch if you like. You can stay here, or if you want, you can bend that back leg and try to grab it. Try to press it to your glutes and then reach that other hand forward again and come back down. Okay, release. Hands are pressed into the mat. Let's switch. Come back to that plank position. We're going to lift the other foot up. Bring the knee to the elbow. Swing the foot closer to the opposite wrist. And come down onto the ground. Yes. Yep, you got it. So first we're sitting up. We're going to try to push the shoulders back just for a little bit. Good. And now we can slowly release over our leg. Okay, and if you want, you can add that quad stretch by bending the back leg, reaching for your ankle, bringing it closer to the glute, and then folding back over your other leg. Okay, and release. So let's come into a seated position from here. First, let's make our butterfly where our feet are touching each other. Yeah. Let's do a circle here. Just rotating our torsos. Let's go the other way. Good, okay. Hands are coming up and we're folding over our feet. And slowly come back up. So now both legs are extended in front of you. This. We're going to take one foot and bring it in. So it's going to be like a half butterfly and the other leg is extended forward. We're going to bring this extended leg out just a little bit. Maybe like 40 degrees from center. Yeah. Hands come up and let's fold down. Lock the hands in. Let's switch. So this other leg's gonna extend out. This leg's coming in. Yeah. Hands are up and fold. Slowly come back up to center. Let's extend both legs out now. Now you can take them a little bit wider if you like. Reposition yourself so that it is comfortable. Good. Let's go sideways. So let's pick this side. I'm going to slide your hand down. The other hand is going to come up and reach over, letting your chest be open. Come up. Let's go to the other side. So we're sliding the hand down, reaching for the leg or the foot. Other hand's coming up. We're lifting our hearts to the sky or to the ceiling and reaching over. Slowly come up. Now we're going to fold over each leg, so one hand on either side of this first leg, and start inching your way down. You can also grab your leg and pull your torso down. Come back up to center. Let's go over the other leg. So one hand on either side of the leg. You can grab your calf and release your torso down. Come up to center. Now we're going to do a forward fold in the center. So our hands are coming up and we're coming down, reaching really forward as you can here. And let your hands come down to the ground and then inch them a little bit more forward and then release your chest and torso down. Okay, you can walk your hands back and then bring your legs together. And now we're going to release onto our backs here. So while we're on our back, you're going to bring one leg up, grab behind your calf, bring it as close to your chest as you can. Just remember your breathing too. Okay, so we're going to bring this out to the side. So I grab for my inner calf and I hold the opposite hip down so it doesn't lift off, and I slowly bring it out a little bit to the side. Come back to center, nice big stretch, and then release. Let's go with the other side. The other leg is lifting up, grab behind, maybe your hamstring, maybe your calf, bring it closer to your chest. Start grabbing the inside of that calf, bringing it out to the side, holding down your opposite hip onto the ground so that both of the hips are down. Good. Back to center and down. Now one knee is coming into your chest. Hug it to your chest. Good. We're going to bring this across our chest. This is for a spinal twist, so you can hold it down as close to the ground as you like. Other arm reaches away, and we're going to look away from this bent knee for our spinal twist. While you're here, if you want, you can also bend the other knee so that the foot comes up, and try to grab that with your opposite hand. So that you're stretching both your back and also your quads. Okay, good. Release. Let's come back to bent knees and release both legs out. Now we're going to bend the other knee, bring it into the chest. Good. Bring that knee over and across your torso. Spinal twist. Arm sweeps out, looking away from our knee. If you want, you can bend the other knee, reach over for that ankle. Good, and release. So we're on our backs and we have our knees bent. We're going to do a little bit of bridge. So our hands are stabilizing by our hips. We're going to lift our hips up to the air. Good. Hold for a little bit and release back down. And we're going to bring our shoulder blades closer together, and this will help us with our activation. Lift up your hips and bring your hands to your low back to press it up a little bit more. Good, and down. We're going to cross one foot over the knee. Good, hands on the ground. Let's do a bridge with the crossed legs. And down. Uncross. Let's cross the other way. And lift up your hips. Good. And down, uncross. We're going to lay our legs long. Our hands are coming up. And we're going to do our boat pose. So this is where we're lifting up our hands and our feet at the same time, looking up. So let's just do like a curve. Release. Let's do one more. and down. So we're gonna make different kinds of V shapes. So this is gonna be a V that's a little bit closer together, so our hands are coming up. Good. Legs are coming up. Shoulders back. Up and down. Let's reach a little bit farther this time. Hands and legs coming up. Shoulders back. Look over each shoulder. And down. Let's go with our happy baby. So this is where we are pulling our knees out to the sides. We're reaching in between them, and for our toes, from this other angle, it looks like this. So we're in our happy baby. Our knees are as close to our shoulders or armpits as possible. Really bring it in. Then we can rock side to side. Good. And then bring the knees into the chest. And release for your Shavasana. Slowly start coming back. Come back up to a seat. And let's take 3 breaths together, inhaling up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one.